Oh shoot. All right, all right. Well, just like guys, I want you to just know that this will serve as a video. Like, just I want to re-upload this, and I think that this program like saves my video, so this would be pretty nice. So I want to just talk about the situation in Ukraine and Russia, and like this is a follow up to my previous video that I uploaded like 4 days ago, I think it was. And just guys, I want to stress like the importance of Gotham. And just today, Black Sky published some images about their proprietary software. I think it's like named Black Sky, and their software just like analyzes satellite images in the real time, and like they did a kind of tweet just with their photos. And if you don't know this, like Black Sky uses Palantir Foundry, and they use Palantir Foundry to Foundry. It's not Foundry, sorry, it's Gotham, and they use Gotham to just like see what happens, and they coordinate and they use like every detail. And I mean, it's pretty nice. What's happening with this thing with in respects to Black Sky. So just guys, join as anything that you want. I really don't have a script or something like that. I just had a shower and thought maybe I should do a live stream. And I said to you guys that yesterday I would make a live stream, but I don't know if you guys know. But it's not about the Ukrainian war or anything like that. But I do have a console and I do play games. And yesterday they released Elden Ring, and I've been playing that game for just like over 24 hours, and it's been quite addicting because here it's 23 past 12 p.m. a.m. Sorry, it's a.m. here because I'm in Spain, so everything is quite different here. Like it's just 6 hours um, after your time in the United States. If you are seeing me from the United States, and I do not know how this works. But yeah, guys, just I wanted to connect and see how this works. I've been with you guys for some time on Twitter, and I've been just talking to you, to lots of you actually, and I like talking to you because you're like my people, you know. And I just love the sense of community that we have. We have Amit, we have chat, of course, is the greatest supporter, is a great like morale booster that there is. And I also love I said Amit, but also Amit on their YouTube. Like I think he's the fastest growing Palantir content creator that there is. And connection is unstable. Oh, nice. I think it's my Starlink. because I have some problems with the Starlink. Like maybe the connection is not that stable. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to like understand how this works because I did the StreamYard because I'm on StreamYard as you can see here, right? I'm on StreamYard, and this program just allows me to do live streams and create like just videos for you live. And well, we have another viewer. If you care to just comment anything and just talk, if you want the link and you want to join me, and we could talk like live here, the link on StreamYard. I mean, it's just like to know how this program works because I used this program Chris, with Chris Padel, and we did a live video, and it was pretty sweet actually. He was pretty nice to me. We spent like an hour talking, and after we finished the live stream, we kept on talking about things, and it was just magnificent. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, this is just like a test of how this website works. Just getting to know the insides of this program of this software because I actually wanted to host the interview, the 1 hour like live podcast we did with Chris because it was like my turn to do that, and I couldn't get registered into StreamYard because this is StreamYard, and just yeah, I wanted to talk about Gotham and the situation with Black Sky, and obviously the situation with Ukraine and Russia, because just Black Sky is there, and I think that because I read before that Russia may target satellites like Black Sky satellites and so on, and I fear that this could happen. And if that happened, I think that that would get pretty much lots of attention to the uh, the company, to Black Sky, because let's not forget that Black Sky is just like a huge part of Gotham in regards to meta constellation and so on. Because I think that if Russia or China maybe attacks the satellites concerning Black Sky and so on, I just think that the company would get lots of attention and lots of media coverage because they just like blocked U.S. satellites, and that would be like helpful because everyone would just join to help like they are doing with Ukraine. I think that if the Russians had been like super fast, like what they did to with regards to Poland in the 30s, if they were so fast, and it has not been the case, like if they took Kiev in just under 2 days, and it's been not the case because they've been attacking for some days now, the entire world scenario would be far different than it is right now. Because Putin wants swift actions. I'm talking about Swift. I guess you all know about Swift and what happened just an hour ago or so. But I fear that the Russians are having this like pretty good in their hands. I think that the Russians know what they are doing. I think that they are holding on like intentionally with their forces. I think that they know that they have much more muscle, and I fear that they are quite like cold-minded and so on. Have you seen the videos concerning the Chechens? I think it's the name of those people. Those are super angry people. Like they are violent and cold, and they all have birds and beards. Sorry, not birds. And yeah, I do believe that the Russians, if they had more time, if sorry, not if they had more time, but if the Russians were faster in taking Kiev, I think that the entire scenario would be far different. Because now the momentum is on the Ukrainians, and I do believe that the international like scenario is taking the opportunity to like, oh, the Russians are not so dangerous, or oh, the Russians are not so effective, so we could like join NATO maybe. And we are seeing this in regards to Finland, and I think was it Norway that also wants to join NATO? I don't know what other countries. And we have those three countries: Estonia, Lithuania, and Letonia. They all are NATO members, so that would get super interesting, guys. I don't know what you guys think. If any of you want to comment something or like just join and talk to me with me, I don't know what would be like the thing. Um. Oh, I have a comment by Palantir Vision. Thank you very much. It's a private comment though, I think. Anyways, it's not in this live. Anyways, if you want to join, or if you want to talk, or if you want to ask something, anything, guys, really, I'm here to just test how this website works and do my first live video. It's not. It's a live video, and I don't know, guys. I just wanted to talk about Ukraine and Russia. Gotham, Black Sky. I already mentioned that, and how this is like relating. Everything is relating to Palantir, and eventually we all can get rich. No? But in the meantime, before we are rich, because we are all bankrupt now with Palantir. In the meantime, we are helping the West, and I think right now it's a critical thing to do. Right now, we are seeing, as I said before, momentum in favor of Ukraine, and I think we are seeing some huge momentum around the West, just in support of the West. At least here in Spain, because I'm in Europe, I'm a European. Here in Spain, everyone is super anti-Russian right now. Like normally, they all refer to Russians as just rich oligarchs that buy homes here in the coast of Spain and just spend their money, and they are like badass and with the sunglasses and so on. But right now people are super angry, like, and we are pretty frustrated with the European governments. Like, why are we not stepping up, like why are we not sending troops? Yeah, I know that it is a pretty critical situation here, not just in Europe but also in the United States, because I mean, no one wants to start a war with Putin. But as I said before, people are less and less afraid of Vladimir Putin compared to like just 3 4 days ago, because he was unpredictable. But we are seeing now that he's pretty predictable, right? Because everyone said that he wanted a war. He said, "I don't want a war." He declared the war. I mean, it is a pretty strange situation. This a surreal situation for me, because I think everyone expected a war, but no one really knew how it would unfold, and it just did in the most normal way, just plain old direct airstrikes and mobilization by the military. And there are lots of misinformation of videos. I think there are quite few like videos in support of Ukraine forces that maybe are a bit distorted, and that is okay because they want to boost their morale. I mean, have you seen the like proportions of the military with the Russians and the Ukrainians? It was like terribly different. But at the same time, a kind of like unknown country as Ukraine was just 1 2 3 years ago compared to Russia, like the biggest country on earth. Russia is pretty large. I think it's the largest country, right? If any of you want to like check me here, um, like yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Like, tell me, what do you think about the Ukraine crisis? Should we, as the West, step up and send forces? Maybe not to Ukraine because they are not part of NATO yet, but maybe to like intensify their presence in Poland, or maybe like in Estonia and Lithuania and so on. What should we do? And I don't know, guys. Like, I just feel that we are in the best company right now. Before we make money, because let's face it, the market is pretty pathetic right now. It's like pretty low. Before the moment that there is another bull market, maybe I don't know one, but maybe 5 years from now, like we are all-time highs again and so on. Like we are in the best company right now to have our money put in, sorry. Like we need to support the West. I don't know about you, but if any of you wanted to like didn't want to support the West or our way of life, or just complain about everything and oh, things are so bad and yeah, but I'm not doing anything, or I don't have any ideas of my own to propose or so on, and you are in Palantir, I think that like people that are in Palantir know what is going on, and I think we need to be pretty straightforward and direct, right? Because we need to be like we cannot normalize this aggression by Vladimir Putin and Russia on the West. Sorry, how? Oh, Okay. Direct conflicts between nuclear powers is a losing scenario for the world. Yes, it is. That is why I said that maybe we shouldn't, as the West, send troops to Ukraine. But do you think that maybe we should ignore just Russia? Like the fear of, I think Putin knows that, and it's not just that I think that, but he has said many times that um, if Ukraine should join NATO, we would see a third world war, and he says that, and he says that no one wants this conflict. I think that yeah, no one would like this conflict, but Russia is the one to lose here. Yeah, everyone is the one to lose, but Russia is the biggest loser here. Have you seen what is going on with SWIFT and so on? I think that Putin knows about this. Like he is known about this for some time. He is prepared for the Ukraine attack. I mean, just 8 years ago, he invaded Crimea and the other two territories, Donetsk and the other one. I don't remember the name right now. It's with Eldo. But yeah, I agree that maybe we shouldn't end up like using nuclear weapons, but he's the second biggest. Um, it's not the second biggest economy in the world, but he's the second biggest army in the world, I think, behind China. So sorry, behind the United States, and he has more army men than China. Cannot ignore it for sure. Sorry, it's just my first time here, so cannot ignore it for sure. Probably the best course of action is to win Europe of oil. Yes, and this is the biggest thing that is on the like supporting side, on the winning side of Putin. I think that like he knew, and we all knew about this, but we didn't want to look right. Faster than transition to renewables, the more it hurts Russia. Yes, but realistically, it's not happening anytime soon. Like I think the most efficient way for the West to thrive in a energy sense is for auto consume, like people creating and using their own energy, and if they have an excess, just give it to the grid and sell it for the lowest price, and everyone wins. But the big companies. Have you seen the financial director of Gazprom, of the biggest energy gas thing company of Europe? He committed suicide, and he woke up dead in St. Petersburg. So yes, energy is quite fun. But yeah, we have like known for some time here in Europe. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, but Russia and the gas and Germany." And we have seen today, like the first moves by the German government. I think it was just today, like that they announced military aid to Ukraine, direct military aid, and they have never done this because they have maintained a neutral position until now. And this is huge because it's just unanimity. Like every European country is agreeing on this same measure. Sorry, and the United States. So yeah, the momentum that Biden was talking about and the unity and purpose, yeah, it's there, or it seems it's there. Maybe tomorrow Russia takes Kiev, and we are all doomed, and the markets are gloomed, and so on. How's it going on, man? Yeah, Chris. Hey, I'm pretty like pumped talking about Russia and Ukraine, and I think like values of the West. And there was a viewer that said a very valid point that direct conflicts between nuclear powers is a losing scenario for the world, and it is. But I was just like saying what is the best course of action, and I seemed to agree with this other viewer that Russia, sorry, not Russia, but energy dependency on Russia, of Russia, is the biggest thing here, is the biggest issue. Like apart from gas and oil, I don't think that, and maybe some minerals and rare materials, I don't think that Russia is a capable country. Not just a very capable country, but I think that Russia, apart from the energy situation and uh, so on, I think it's pretty pathetic. So yeah, guys, this is what's going on here, and energy. Just let's just talk about what I was saying about what is the best solution for energy. Sorry, Chris, someone is the same viewer is telling you something. I think that just the solution here is for everyone to consume their own energy. Everyone must have a solar panel, or just solar panels to just cover their energy consumption. And I think that everyone should have Starlink, but this is another thing. For generating their own connection, and not generating their own connection, but generating their own bandwidth, and not depending on, not relying on big corporations that are oligopolies and so on, and monopolies maybe in some cases here in Spain. For just like it was just 15 years ago that the our main internet connections and telephone, it was all dependent on a monopoly, and they broke up the monopoly, and yeah. Anyways, this is the thing. Russia has Germany by the balls, as I think you say, Americans, because of energy. And until now, Germany had not said anything, and today has been the day, and this is pretty good, man. And I think that yes, Russia, energy, and Palantir is there to help. I mean, we have seen how Palantir, they have a video, guys, and I will tweet the video in when I end this broadcast. But yeah, Palantir has a video like an a situation, like an example of how Foundry helps them prevent any situation or so on. There is a kind of like catastrophe incoming, and in their central, like the people in charge of the energy distribution center, I think it is, they need to determine like what should we do? Should we turn down the power uh, everywhere, or just in that area? Or I think it was like that, and they compare the different scenarios using Foundry and not using Foundry, and it's quite stark, the difference. It's amazing. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think about like Palantir's place in this war. I know that Gotham is playing a huge role right now. I bet it is being used everywhere in relation to the Pentagon and other. I think that, guys, I recorded a video a week ago, a week and a half ago, and I was just editing it, and I finished it, and I was like watching the entire video for if there was any mistake or any render loss or so on. And I noticed that I assumed in the entire video that NATO was using Palantir, and that just Gotham was being used in all NATO countries. And I even draw like a map with the colors of all the NATO countries. It was just a video that what countries are using Palantir, right? And I just assumed that NATO was there, and I didn't realize that it is not public information. I am convinced that NATO uses Palantir for just two big facts. The one is that there was a document that NATO published, and I just encountered myself with that document looking for other Foundry links and so on, which I found, and I will do a video. I am preparing a video on two things. One, a new Foundry Palantir Foundry link that has been like just active recently, and the other about, and you guys in the group, in the Palantir that group on Twitter, you know about that because I shared it with you 2 days ago. That Sao Paulo, that big city in Brazil, used Palantir Foundry, but this is another thing. Like, this is not breaking news, but this is a thing that I found leaked. So the NATO document, the official NATO document, said that they are developing a new tool to replace the one that they have. They want to replace the tool that they have, but this is the thing, and they refer to that tool as an American software company that did lots of data analysis and so on. And the other thing is that, sorry, I will just put your comment here, but I want to finalize my second point. And my second big point is that the United States and the United Kingdom want their NATO members, like colleagues, to use their own software. And this is a big thing. And the United States will know calls the shots in NATO. So my biggest issue with Palantir right now is not the growth numbers, stock-based compensation. It's not for me either. But when they are sitting on $2 billion plus dollars in cash, I feel like they are not deploying their dollar to accelerate growth. So I don't know about everything, guys. So yeah, but on this thing, I think that they are, as they did back in August when they bought $50 million in gold bars, and they said they were preparing for a black swan scenario. This may be it, guys. Like we all are seeing what the results were when the quarter finalized, but we are seeing right now, like, it's been almost 2 entire months of the new quarter, of the quarter 1 of 2022, and the markets were pretty much up for the first days of January. So maybe they are sitting on that $2 billion cash to invest in specs, in more specs. But I think that is not quite exciting, and I think that they also don't want to spend everything on specs as they didn't at the end of 2021 of last year. I think that it was a pretty risky move. I think that they diversified pretty much in a good way that SPAC investments. But yeah, that $2 billion in cash is, I wouldn't say concerning, but it's a thing that, yeah, I don't seem to agree with that assessment of just sticking to their cash. I think that they would be pretty wise to buy other companies, and we have two other companies that they could buy. We have, but the thing is, Palantir doesn't do any hardware. I wanted to say that maybe they should buy Anduril, that other software military advanced analytic company, but they also buy, I think it's, I don't know what is it, like, not radars, but I think it's drones, like little drones, like mini helicopter drones that they just are used to like just hack other pieces of equipment and explode and just provide analytics real time. Palantir doesn't do that. Palantir provides you with the software to analyze that data, but Anduril is providing hardware to just produce analytics. That would be maybe a wise investment. I don't know, but they are then in the hardware business, and that is a pretty risky thing, I think, for Palantir. The good thing about Palantir is that their margins are super, like, so real. They're 80% plus margins. It's software. It's the greatest thing about software. You cannot, like, spend money on producing it more than maybe paying engineers for developing the software and the forward deployed engineers to install the software to their clients. I don't think how that would work. They are pretty connected, since just their two names are references to the Lord of the Rings, and Joe Lonsdale is there, and so on. And the other companies, just going back to my first, like, the beginning of this live stream, Black Sky. Black Sky is pretty much almost bankrupt. They are losing lots of money. They don't have the capital to sustain that money. And I bought Black Sky, I must say, at like $8, and it's right now at two to $3 range. But I just don't care, because I've seen the tweet, and I want to show you guys that tweet. It is a tweet that just, like, shows the images and what they are collecting, and just this company, guys, that collects real time data. It's not just a satellite company. There are plenty of satellites and satellite companies. I mean, back in the '60s, they used satellites for this same thing. I mean, it was President Kennedy that in '61 or '62 they did all the blockade with Cuba and the missile crisis because of satellite images. So it's not that new, but it's the real time analytics, guys. Like, it's not just that Black Sky uses Palantir and Palantir Gotham with the Meta constellation and so on to produce real-time analytics and real-time intel, and that is the thing. Like, Black Sky provides almost real-time. I think it's every 5 minutes you can have the snapshot like refreshed of a very concrete um, piece of land. Okay, out of the government, let's Black Sky go belly up. I don't know what you mean by that. Maybe it's an Americanism. I don't understand. Camel. I understand maybe that you mean that they won't let Black Sky flop or like go bankrupt or just disappear. I agree with you, but I think that also like other companies as yeah bankrupt. Okay, thanks. As we've seen with this previous comment, the $2 billion in cash. I mean, I think lots of companies and institutions want to buy things, as we've seen with the video game industry this past month. Just in January, like three big buys: Activision and Microsoft, and so on. So it's in times of pain. Yeah, probably get acquired. I agree with you, and I think that Palantir, if like I think that there are people in Palantir. I think people like Xiam and maybe Carp, like they want to scale and just expand at any cost. And we have other people like maybe Peter Thiel that does not want to like get into other businesses. Why do I say this? Because in the book 0 to 1 that I think that everyone has read here, they talk about just being just step by step, growing step by step, like Tesla did with the Roadster, a super high end sports car, pretty pricey. And when you conquer that market share, you go to another market share and so on. And Palantir right now doesn't have a huge percentage of the market share that their TAM like requires or indicates or whatever. So I need that I I don't need I think that they don't want to buy other companies, least of all in a hardware business. But I think in at the end of March, I think that in just under 3 months, I think that we will have seen lots of not just investments by Palantir using that $2 billion in cash, but I think that we will see some acquisitions. I think that right now there must be some acquisition talks of other companies that maybe we don't know about. I think that lots of things are happening right now. Peter Thiel is a pretty mentally prepared guy. He's a pretty intelligent guy, and I think that they know what they are doing. They definitely won't acquire anything that has inventory. I agree. That is why I would love for them to buy Black Sky, but I just don't think it's a realistic approach to their acquiring thinking. Like Black Sky is great, Palantir is great, but they are great businesses because they're center themselves on that business. Palantir doesn't build things in a physical way. They construct software, and not just any software. They make just two or three platforms, and I sometimes don't consider Apollo like a product because it's already done and it's just like a bridge, like an infrastructure thing. Apollo. I think that Foundry and Gotham are the greatest things that Palantir has, and they know it's the greatest things because if they didn't, they wouldn't like bet their entire balance sheet and everything on just two platforms with a very specific like market share, not just for governments with Gotham, but also with Foundry. Not every little business wants or small business wants Foundry. I think that it's not just that marketed at that point of view. I think that Palantir will and is working on a smaller product, like a not a business to consumer. This is another thing that I always say that I would love for them to make, just like a Palantir app on my phone, and I enter all my details like they are doing with 23andMe, and just like provide me with data and clear information about I am. And that is why, guys, and I will end this live stream in a minute, but I want to close with these remarks. We will win this war. I view Ukraine not as a war, but as a battle, like a scenario. And it has proven super super interesting and super like useful in establishing a morale. As I said before, but maybe some of you were not there when I began this live. The view of Putin was he was a pretty strong man. Everything that he does is badass. He's super prepared, super capable. He knows everything, and we have seen him doubt over these days. It's been like 3 or 4 days of intense fighting, but the Ukrainians that are like a tenth the size of the military of um, Russia is winning, and we are winning because Ukraine, and we have seen a leader that nobody expected, and that is Vladimir Zelensky. He is the leader that we need, I think, and through Putin's silence, that is often designed to make us wonder what he's thinking. He's so mysterious and so on. Through his silence and through the strength of Zelensky, we in the West have like a beacon of light. The West needs a beacon of light, and we all are little points of light, as George W. Bush Sr. would say. Sorry, George Herbert Walker Bush Sr. Of course. We are like little points of light that are shining, and we just need one point to direct our lights to, and just grow to be the greatest thing that has ever happened to us, because we are the greatest thing that has ever happened to us, guys. But we need to like remain free, and Ukraine is a major battle. If we lose Ukraine, maybe we learn in the meantime. Like maybe not just maybe, but we have seen how their strength and how they fight, and their leader. I think that everyone expects Kiev to fail, but just to fall. Sorry, not to fail, to fall, but not without a battle, guys, and not without a war before that. And I just think that the West is pretty much like in debt to Ukraine and Zelensky, because we have a reason to fight right now. Because we our morale is reconstructed. We have, as I said just now, a reason to fight and to maintain our values. And here in Spain, it's the thing that I know, guys. Sorry, even if I follow the United States more closely, of course, because of my money, because it's all invested there. But here in Spain, guys, everyone was pretty like we have a tendency to just let people say whatever and do whatever. And our institutions here in Spain, more in the Catalonia region where I live, are very super left, not in a communist way, but in a cultural, like not hippie, but angry. Like if you do not think like them, they would just let you out and maybe just insult you or judge you by everything that you stand for. And I am very happy right now because with Palantir, I am knowing myself better, and I am enjoying my freedom because I am like just aware that I'm free. And I am free not because of a government that has a Bill of Rights or so on. And a year ago, I followed, well, he's dead now, but Justice Scalia, and Antonin Scalia, and he said like there are European countries with a Bill of Rights and a Declaration of freedoms and so on, but because of a written document, I don't have freedoms or liberty. I am free because I am a man and I am born because of God or because of anything, but because we are individual men or women. And I believe that he's right. It is through the example of everything that we do on our daily basis that we can establish a community and a sense of sharing, not because of a state or because of a law that just like forces us to share everything, guys. I don't know what you guys think. It's been a kind of a reflection, 2 3 minutes to end this broadcast. I think that we are in debt to Ukraine right now because they have awakened here in Spain, at least, a sense of like freedom, a sense of we are fighting not because we are told to fight, like the Russians are, quite frankly. We are fighting because we want to fight, because we want to defend our country and thus our freedom. Guys, expect more talks like this if I ever do a broadcast again. I don't know, but just enjoy life, enjoy freedom. Do not take it for granted, and I hope to see you. Long live Palantir, and goodbye.